Hi there. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be going through finishing up the flowers that I started on my live I did the other day. That live was terrible. It has since been hidden. I had a cold. I still have a cold, but I started coughing and just had to end it. Also, my tables, I have two work tables, and I know to put my camera stand on one table and work on another, but I didn't realize that I kept hitting it with or leaning on that table with my arm, so it was just a shaky hot mess. So now I'm learning what not to. I'm on that brutal learning curve of what not to do, right? Figuring out what not to do. So that is hidden, so nobody ever has to go through that again. But I started making all these paper flowers. And I cut them out, and then I colored them. And today I assembled them. And I'm going to first show you, let me just move all these aside. And first we're going to go through how to make them, okay? For paper, I trim off the blank side clear margins, you know, that don't have the ink. Then I roughly cut it into a square, okay? And then you fold it. My daughter and everybody in the live was like, oh, like snowflakes. Yes, like snowflakes. So you fold it in half. You fold it like in a fourth, right? So you fold it in half one way, doesn't matter. And then fold it in half again the other way, okay? Then on your folded edges. And after you make some of these, you'll remember. In my live, I said it'd been a couple of years since I made them, and by the second or third one, I remembered how. So you fold that back, and fold that back. And then these are your folded edges. These are all folds, okay? So you keep that there. You want to keep your folds there. Because if you cut it wrong, you will end up with a few pieces of paper. So for a flower, we'll just do a heart again, because that's easy. All right, just do a heart or half a heart, right? And then when you open it up, it looks a little bit like a four-leaf clover, but if you do it right, it looks more like a heart than a four-leaf clover. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to do leaves. Okay. You fold it in half, and then your folded edges. Because see, these are both folded edges. Well, see, both of those are folded edges. Those are the ones you fold up again to that first folded edge and then back. Okay? So you have 4 folds. And then we're going to make a leaf. And then you can do these however you want. Also, I didn't do so well on these having a bigger paper so your leaves stick out, and I'll show you how I got around that. So here's your leaf, okay, and then here's your flower. And on this one I did pretty good, cutting my flower smaller than the leaf, but on the other one I didn't. And you can, what I did on the live, I'll show you what I did on my set too, is I outlined the first set I made and the set I made my sister. And then on these, I just sprayed them. I just sprayed them. I made alcohol, I don't know if they're called alcohol inks. But do you know the hack to just mix alcohol with here you can maybe see that one better. No? Okay, I'll show you on the yellow one. With the parts, the inside guts out of a Sharpie. And then it makes alcohol ink. Okay? And then I just sprayed them. And then this was something cool. I will show you. I have this big desk calendar that I got off Warehouse for $1. But this is what I used to lay them all out on and spray. And then they dry pretty quick, but this is working out really well. And these desk calendar pads are big enough for 4 sheets of paper. So when I'm watercoloring or spraying or tea dyeing or whatever, which I don't tea dye, but you know, whatever, to color paper, I have those to lay them out on. And I even stacked them and they work just fine. Okay. So there is, well, where'd they go? So here is how you make them. And then I sprayed them. And then I used buttons to assemble them. And some of them, like I did on my room, on the one I made in my room, I pulled the jute through the top to look like stamen. And then I decided that really wasn't necessary. The buttons are cute enough, you know. And I have lots and lots and lots of buttons from my mother. So I just did them in all colors. So it was really fun. And I'm going to assemble one and show you. So, like I said, these are all the ones I made. My daughter cut a bunch out with me. This is blue. It doesn't, yeah, it looks blue. And that kind of doesn't look quite blue, but it is. So I made a bunch. This one I I alternated them just to show the different pages better. And then some of them I did light, some of them I did more vivid. This was kind of, I sprayed them with orange and pink, so it kind of turned out peach. It looks yellow in the film, but they're kind of peachy looking. I liked them. Alrighty, and of course I did red. So I'm going to show you how to assemble them. And I'm going to sit down while I do it. So, on these I did 7 and 2 leaves. And this one I had more than 7. I just used, I didn't have enough for two flowers, I didn't think. So I just used what I had and just finished them. It's okay to have more. So I don't do them exactly 90 degrees. I just do them staggered so it's just a lot of layers. Okay? And then the leaves, like I said, I wasn't very good at making them. I wasn't paying attention on these. So I made them kind of, they're smaller than the flowers. So what I did was just staggered them like that, which I think looks cute. And then it's just a leaf overlapped. A leaf petal overlapped, okay? And then I used my awl. And let's see, this button has 2 holes. I tried to pick a variety. You have to push this through kind of far so your needle can go through. And I pushed them in pretty far apart from each other, just for strength. Because if the holes are too close together, then that wouldn't have worked, right? And then I've got, let me find my needle. Okay. Oh, that's dumb. Oh, there it is. I used these curved needles that I got in a bookbinding set just because the needle point was smaller. I have some bigger needles, straight ones, but the eye of them was awful fat. I didn't think it would fit through the buttonhole. So these binding needles I have are pretty narrow at the tip. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. If not, I've got thinner jute, or I could just use thread or anything. Okay. Now, like I did on the other ones, I didn't use a button on my first set. I just put a few strands of black string through, or rainbow string actually, I believe, to look like stamen. And then I left the strings on here long. I thought, I don't know what I'll do with them. I thought if I wanted to assemble them on a tag or tie them on something. See, I punched that all over halfway through the awl, and it still doesn't want to come through. Let me make those holes bigger. Because the thickness of the jute, it didn't want to come through. And one of these needles I broke trying to pull it through. So you don't want to do that. Doesn't want to come through there. Let me get a different button. I believe it fits through here. This gold on here made it look the red, gold, and green made it look Christmassy, I thought. I'm a redaholic, so of course I had to make some red ones, alright? And that's fine because, like I said, they look Christmassy. And then what I did was just tie it. I tie it 3 times because sometimes twice it still comes undone. I got my cord from my phone hanging here. I'm trying not to hit it. Because sometimes twice it still comes undone, but third, or loosens, you know. But third, and I'm going to leave the string on there because I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And these I might have to add, you know, a couple scraps of cardstock or something to it to help secure it. Because some of these are on spiky. So I thought that might be more fragile. You know, just like on one petal or leaf. So some of them I thought might be more fragile. So I might have to assemble them on a strip of cardstock or something just to hold it down more secure if I need to. You know, if it's like on a tag that's, you know, or if whenever I use them, if they don't feel quite secure, you know. So that's it. Look how cute they are. I think they turned out great. And I have a whole stash of them, and I will be using them. I have a project coming up where I'm going to mass make a bunch of tags. I thought that one was cute with the pink on it. It's sprayed like purple, but with the pink, it kind of looks pink, doesn't it? Isn't it pretty? So there they are. These flowers, and let me know if you make any. I think they're pretty darn cute, and I think they're gonna be pretty usable on a tag. I have a bunch of tags and big tags made up out of file folder scraps. You know, I think that's pretty cute. What do you think? Well, I hope you make some. Let me know if you make some. I'd love to see them. And thank you for whoever was on that live. And I'm sorry it was such a hot mess. I wish somebody would have told me. You know, we're friends here. You can tell me, you got to stop the shaking. You're making me sick. You know, somebody could have told me that. I wouldn't have been mad. And I didn't realize I was doing it, and I was watching it back, and it was just awful. And I'm so sorry to whoever was watching. Okay? So, thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you make some. Love you. Bye.